Have you ever been victimized by New Age spirituality?
We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist,
Yes,
snake oil salesman.
there are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted, they're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairannoyance.
A podcast of spiritual interference. All right, am I locked and loaded?
Are you locked and loaded?
I hope so. I hope so. Happy birthday, crabs.
Happy birthday, crabs. You feeling crabby? Are you crabby, Megan?
Yeah, I'm a little crabby. I kind of oscillate between, like I'll be in a great mood 1 minute and then the next minute I'm like, fuck all y'all. Just Cancer season always has, for me, it's just damp. It's just like difficult. It's emotionally laborious. The thing is that when they are in a good mood, this and Libras, so I don't know what they have in common. When they are in a good mood, everybody's in a good mood. It's like you light up my life with pure joy. But when they are in a bad mood, they come and all I can see is I saw this crab video one time and this crab had a sword and, and it was fighting. And that's what they did. They will ruin, decimate, destroy. They don't care. Is it your Nana's birthday? Fuck her. And you're like, ma'am.
No, it's so true. Well, I mean, Libras are in the middle of the zodiac, so they balance everything, and they literally are the peacekeepers. So if they're out of balance,
which that's a gosh darn joke if I ever heard one.
you can't. Well, that's the point. You can't know balance unless you know imbalance. So they're constantly in imbalance situations and having to figure that out. And then Cancer is just like that's the epitome of the whole like you walk in a room and the energy just gets like
sucked out. They challenge you to a duel. Anyway, maybe I am a little crabby today.
It's okay. It's okay.
So what do we have going on astrologically this month, boo-boo?
It's a lot. We're gonna go through a lot of things here. Breeze through the first couple sections. The biggie is gonna be the Venus retrograde.
And you do not want to miss this. This is not Mercury.
It's a lot. Venus is is the rarest retrograde. I'll say that. Like Mars goes retrograde more infrequently, but Mars is retrograde for a longer period of time. So like when you add it all up, 7% of people are born with Venus retrograde, and then it's like 9% are born with Mars retrograde.
Oh,
and
wow.
A quarter of people are born with Mercury retrograde because Mercury's retrograde like constantly. The outer planets after that, it's like half the year they're retrograde. So, but yeah, Venus is the most like
that. I feel like that would be an unfortunate placement.
Bitch, I got it. I got it in mine. It's I'm Venus retrograde.
I know that you have Mercury. I knew you were born in Mercury retrograde because every time we have a project to launch, you're like, no prob. I have the power of this magic.
I have Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde conjunct together right next to my sun too. So I very much feel these retrogrades like in weird ways. Like it's just like it's funny because typically like I think the retrogrades will treat you pretty well if you're born with it, like or you're more at least adept to handle it. But it's funny because I'll watch other people deal with situations that I'm like, oh well, that's just my life. Like they're like in a tizzy with like their Venus retrograde story, and I'm like, well.
Yeah, no sympathy here. Welcome to my shit show.
Yeah, welcome to the literal like 15 months straight of what I get. Like this is my time off period when Venus goes retrograde.
On vacay. Don't you bother me with your love nonsense.
Literally. Okay. So you can also go to like if you look in our show notes, I'm linking to a couple of the things I'm talking about here, but also on the Instagram, there's a calendar that literally goes through every day of July that says here are the favorable, challenging, and neutral days for all of July. So you can like go swipe through our recent posts. You'll find it. And the other thing I want to a little self promo because I think it would help people is, and I'll link to this too. And I put out an Astrology for Business calendar. Basically, it's a calendar subscription. You can purchase it. and you'll get your phone loaded, like a calendar will sync to your phone calendar, and it'll just get loaded with all of these
That's dope.
astrology placements. Yeah. Right now it's just in the soft launch phase, so it goes through the end of 2023, and then in the fall we're going to hard launch, and at that point you'll
And if
have
you're rolling your eyes when you hear this, like, why would I need this? I would just like to let you know that every billionaire has an astrologer on deck and makes orchestrated moves as to where the planets are going to be. So if you are rolling your eyes,
well, if you're
don't.
rolling your eyes, why are you here? Why are you here right now? Like, get the calendar, because it literally will help you plan. And like a big part of it, I need to make a video about this. The clients that I see the most feedback from, and the ones who are like capitalizing on their fucking astrology and making moves in life, are the ones that have been writing their shit down in a calendar. Like, they're just putting like dates that I've mentioned to them in a reading with like a buzzword or something. That's what this is, but it goes even more in depth. You can like click into it, and then like you see the description of like do's and don'ts and all this shit. So like, get it. Like, it's literally, it's not
I
very
knew you were
expensive. It's
doing
like,
it, but I didn't know it was all this. I need to get
dude,
that.
yeah, it's with my friend Eric from Uncommon Crowd. He's I just met him on TikTok randomly, but then it spiraled into this whole like business thing, and he's dope. He used to do graphic design for another astrologer, so he's like very familiar with it, and he uses astrology in his business. He's got his own marketing company, and so it's just been like a really interesting partnership, and I love it. I don't know, I love it. But you can sign up at any point, and right now it'll just go through the end of this year in your calendar, but then come like basically fall equinox, we'll hard launch, and then you'll have until the end of 2024, and we're always going to keep it a whole year ahead. So if you sign up February 2024, it'll go to the end of February 2025, so
Sweet.
yeah, it's a one-time purchase, easy. But anyway, saying that in case you want like more in-depth stuff, but otherwise go to our Instagram, you'll get the July breakdown of like it just says favorable, challenging, and neutral, so you can just like high level plan. Okay, so first thing first is these 4 planets changing signs. They're pretty simple here. On July 10th, we got 2 of them changing signs, depending on your time zone. I'm going off of Pacific times right now. I want to get that in depth with this, but basically July 10th, we got Mars entering Virgo and Mercury entering Leo. So Mars entering Virgo is really fun. Well, it's not fun, but the fact that Mercury enters Leo is at the same time is really helpful, because Mercury rules Virgo. So Mars entering Virgo is now answering to Mercury and Leo. So Mercury and Leo is very positive, uplifting energy, super creative. So it's going to help Mars feel like inspired. Mars in Virgo is like a workaholic. Like that is like a very organized stickler type of energy. Somebody who can like micromanage.
Type A. Yeah, irons their underwear.
Yeah.
No missing socks in that drawer.
Yeah. It's like it can be incredibly motivated, but it gets like focused too much on like very little things that almost don't matter. It's like the little stuff will matter, and the little stuff makes a difference right now. Mercury, I guess, being in Leo at the same time is going to make this much more of like an inspired feeling, though. It's like, oh, I know what I need to focus on, and I'm excited to actually like get the nitty gritty shit out of the way, because I'm seeing like where like the full potential of something. I think
I do like that, like physical stamina and like your like health should be a priority, like moving your body, going for a walk. So, like you are a complicated house plant, make sure that you get your sun, your water, your oxygen, your movement. So
yeah, yes, that's 100% it. I think like the only other thing is like don't get fixated on the imperfections of things. Virgo really wants perfection, and it's like perfection doesn't exist, and the funny like dichotomy of that is that like a flaw itself is perfect, right?
Imperfect, I'm perfect. Hello.
Yeah. The issue here that I see, like truly the biggest downfall, I think, of both Mars in Virgo and Mercury in Leo, is that neither handle criticism well. Leo's like, who are you to criticize me? Like, no.
That is the thing. That is the truth. It is like, I hear you, and really they don't. And when you're in a debate with them, they are waiting to respond instead of listening. And so it's like, you didn't even hear, I am shutting this down, Charlie Brown. And you can take that ego and that big roar, and you can get the hell out of my house.
Oh, yeah. And they will do like they will do what they can to make you feel belittled. Like if you do offer even the most constructive criticism possible, a Leo can like get so triggered by that because they're like, "Oh, I'm not good enough." Like, and they will overprove how amazing they are by trying to basically show you that they do something better than you. So they'll make you seem like you're useless. Like, well, you could never shine as bright as me. So fuck you. Who the fuck is your dim ass to tell me like what to do? And then Mercury really struggles with criticism because it takes it out on itself a little too personally.
Mhm.
So that's like that's the only thing I don't like is like be very open-minded to criticism right now. It's like literally for your benefit.
So then what happens on July 22nd when Sun enters Leo? Like what's
Well,
going on with
that's
that?
where it's like full attention onto the Leo energy. Now we're like fully embodying it. Like a attention, I guess more so would be the Mercury moving in there. But Leo is like, I mean, the sun is identity. So we're all very much living in the Leo time frame. But that's the day where Venus goes retrograde, which we're gonna come to later. So in my mind, I'm like, ooh, that is like clear,
Which
like
how hilarious. Because here comes Leo sashaying its tail. And that's what a Leo does. It sashays, baby. Okay. Or marches onto the scene. And then what does a Leo want? Love and admiration. Love on me, baby. And then Venus is like, okay, honey, I'm going on vacay. See you
mm-hmm.
later. Not gonna give you that love and attention.
Uh-huh, dude. Ew, it's like there's a whole lot to say about this Venus retrograde. Child, let me tell you. But like, I'm not like even so. Yeah, the sun changes into Leo. That I'm not even. We'll have to explain that every month, but it happens every month. The sun changes signs. You know, it's a new season, so it's like we're leaving Cancer season, going to Leo season. The good of that is like typically it's more upbeat and joyful. Like Cancer likes to stay at home. It's like inward. It's ruled by the moon, and then we move to a sign that's ruled by the sun. So people are out and about, a little more like happy-go-lucky.
Mhm.
It'll be fun. Um, uh, then Mercury flies through Leo. So then at the end of the month, July 28th, it enters Virgo. I normally wouldn't even care to talk about this because it's like there's only 4 months left in the or 4 days left in the month at that point. But it's
Mhm.
actually important because Mercury rules Virgo. At that point, we're very focused on the Virgo stuff and like what are we actually trying to work on or accomplish because Mercury is now joining Mars there.
Mhm.
And so uh and later in August, Mercury's going to go retrograde in Virgo. So it will start kicking up that storyline as well. I think like the big theme with that at the end of the month, well, and throughout the month, pay attention to is Mercury and Leo focus on the fun. It's like trying to find the fun and like the joyful, shiny objects in life.
Mhm.
The Mars in Virgo is giving you an ability to like hunker down, get some shit done. So
So
you
nice
want to
little
real
balance that we have going on.
please balance. Like, good God,
Mhm.
please balance this because if you don't, if you're too focused on the fun, Mercury's going to enter Virgo at the end of July and you're going to be like, shit, like I got shit to do. Like I'm backed up on work or something, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's
Otherwise,
the worst
and
feeling.
yeah, and then vice versa too. If you're not enjoying yourself in July and making time for the play and fun, you're going to get to Virgo season and be burnt out.
So then we've got a full moon in
Yeah, so this
Capricorn.
is our second theme here, moonlight in motion. Because the moon's light
I
is
love
always in
it.
motion. I know.
So why Capricorn full moons are usually kind of difficult.
They are. And I hate them normally. This one,
I know that. I those are in the notes. I don't want
no,
it.
I
Literally said, normally I hate Capricorn
know
full
it's yeah, like it's
all
true.
caps.
I do hate this normally, but like I'm probably gonna make a video and put it on my TikTok actually about this and like physically point it out in like a chart of like why this is actually a really dope full moon. Um, but it's a really good one. Normally it sucks because Capricorn is the opposite sign of Cancer. A full moon happens
Mhm.
when the sun and the moon are opposing each other in the sky. So it's Cancer season at this point, which is ruled by the moon, right? So
Mhm.
the moon being opposite of Cancer, it means it's as
Oh,
far away from its home as it wants to be. And a Capricorn moon,
counterintuitive.
yeah, and a Capricorn moon person can be like very calloused, harsh with emotions. They don't really tap into it. They don't,
Not a lot of empathy.
yeah, nope. And they just struggle to see like the point of it. Like it almost like distracts them from like what they're trying to do. So they're like, they can just like push it aside very easily, or especially someone else's feelings. I think like if you're trying to, it's definitely that like boss who's like, no crying at work. Why the fuck are you crying right now? You know, like
Yeah.
leave the personal life at the door, like that
Mhm.
type of vibe. So it's
Boomer.
very harsh. Yeah, yeah, totally boomer and central. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I like this one because okay, got this. Like, follow me. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, right? So this full moon in Capricorn is that it's like answering to where Saturn's at and what Saturn's up to. Saturn's in Pisces. That's a sextile. That's a positive flow of energy.
And Saturn is like the taskmaster planet. It's like the principal. You get it done and you get the good things later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And it's definitely a later feeling. Yes. So Capricorn, or I mean, Capricorn and Pisces play together nicely, but literally where these two planets are, the moon and Saturn, they're in a 60-degree angle apart from each other. Very, very positive movement. It's like not even just a good flow of energy, it's like action oriented. So there's like
Ooh.
something happening here. Always, always great when the ruler of the full moon or a new moon is in a good flow of energy with the moon. So that's the case here. But then what's even stranger is like, and Saturn can be harsh, you know, again, like that's also why like a Capricorn full moon is not usually fun. It's like not common to have, I guess, I think
Good
Saturn,
time.
like,
Well, who has it? Does anyone really have a good? There are the occasional full moons, but that's why if you're in food and bev or working in the ER, it's like, God, what is it? A full moon? And then it's like, yep, there it is.
yeah. Yeah, like it's an emotional space, and it's just like this Capricorn's not equipped to handle an emotion, and Saturn's the same way, right? But Saturn's over here in sentimental ass Pisces. It's definitely like softening itself, you know? So there's like an interesting, and the moon loves Pisces. So like I think that this is that in itself is amazing. But then on top of that, it's like you can keep going in this story. I'm only going to go one step further, but it's like Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Guess Jupiter's over here in Taurus. Taurus and Capricorn love each other. That's called a trine, smooth flow of energy. The moon is in a perfect trine with Jupiter at this point. So Jupiter's ruling Saturn, Saturn's ruling the moon. Everything is playing nice. Everything is playing so nice here. There's literally like nothing bad.
And that's great for for America's birthday. You know, like no,
Do
that
we still
doesn't mean.
celebrate that?
Oh my God.
Kidding.
Well, I'm in Charleston. Yeah, trust me, they're like
Yeah.
boats, booze, and
Oh
babes.
God,
It's
grills.
the American dream.
Jesus Christ. Kill me. I have so many good memes saved. So check our Instagram for the 4th of July posts. Yeah, so I think it is a very good full moon. I think like 3 tips for success, I would say, is reflect on the journey for the past 6 months. All full moons are a culmination of really like the 6 months. Related to like what have you been working on, what goals. This is all very Capricorn stuff, like goals and ambitions and long-term strategies. So like what have you been working on the past 6 months? And things could come to fruition right now. That is also a thing with the full moon, is that ending, a closure, fruition, a time of harvest, right? Which is interesting. So like with the Taurus at play, like Jupiter and Taurus, right? Like there's, which Taurus is ruled by Venus and Venus is in Leo, like still being nice right now. Venus, planet of money. People could get money right now. Work opportunities could be coming in. Like that's that fruition, fulfillment feeling of a full moon. But it's also interesting because full moons are often related with like endings and releases, letting go. And that's like a funny thing that I don't think people talk about enough about a full moon, where it's like you could get something you want, but that also means it's an end. It's the end of that journey. You cross a finish line. Well, now the race is over. Cool accomplishment, but now you're done. It's over. So
Yeah.
now what? What next? Like, so there's an ending, and that comes with any great shiny thing you might get at this full moon. You
That's such a
know,
good point. So
isn't
that's
it
why it's
interesting?
always, yeah, like enjoy the journey, which is why
Mm-hmm.
your work-life balance better be in play. Because there is nothing worse, than when you get to that finish line. And it's not nothing worse, but if you're not prepared for it, it's like, oh no.
Totally. And this is also why you celebrate your wins, right? Like take the time to celebrate that moment because it's over after that. You're done
Mm-hmm.
now. It's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So I think that's another one. Celebrate the wins, and do it with integrity. The Leo energy at play is can like amp it up and make ego get out of hand. I think, you know.
Yeah, we got some big ego players like in line. And then lack of empathy and the me, 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 like definitely promote yourself and be present. But Ask how other people are. Check in with your buddies because it's real lonely. Ask the sea goats. Ask the Capricorns who have climbed the mountain. They've hooved their way to the top with their little tails and hooves. Go look at what the Capricorn represents, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you get there, and you're like, "My gosh, I'm alone. Where am
Exactly.
I?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's lonely at the top, right? And it's lonelier if you're forcing your wins on someone else. It's like being a poor winner, right? Like
So tacky.
it's tacky as fuck. Like, and that's the yeah, it's so
So tacky.
tacky.
Look at my wins. Look at all the glorious things I've accomplished by
Look
myself,
at my medals.
running over everyone. Oh, what are you doing, peasant? I mean, like, and then we
Literally.
call them out on it too. Capricorns don't. Yeah, I'm a Capricorn rising. They don't really. Yeah, same
That's
deal.
a great. I love a Capricorn rising though. That's a fucking killer. Ooh, I wish I had a Capricorn rising. Man, I don't.
I
I
love
love
it.
my Aquarius rising, but
Get it done.
yeah, dude, I love it. Um, yeah, and it's also like you think because of Leo is so at play right now, and then we're gonna move into that season later in the month. It's like with Leo, I think they also like to win. They love to be in a position of leadership and in the spotlight and like be
Yes, they
noticed and
do.
whatever. But their best way of being noticed is when they just let the talent speak for itself. They don't seek. They want admiration and applause, yes, because it gives them feedback of
It
like I'm
fuels
doing something
them. It
well.
really
Yeah,
does.
but don't
Like it
seek it.
does.
You're not going to get it. You will have that lonely experience if you're fishing for the compliments or whatever. Don't just let the celebrate your wins. Like let that exist and publicly.
Yes.
Capricorn rules the public eye, so it's like you can have visibility of anything that's great for you right now. Like let that be great, but don't do anything more than that. Like let people notice it, and that's a key right there. Is like who's noticing your wins, who's complimenting you and cheering you on and be
Oh,
proud of
that's so
you.
big. Who's present? Yeah. Who's like, how can I help? How can I assist? How can I was just talking with my friend Katie, who's a Leo, and that was, one thing we were collaborating on. And I was like, like, how can I help you? How can I? And the minute you start flapping your jaw unnecessarily at me is the minute that I'm going to take my resources and put on pause because it's like, there's no I in team. How can I support you on the back end and vice versa?
Dude.
Oh,
Well, and it's funny, like, because last night I went to a bar. I've been like very like low key lately, but I went to a bar to meet up with someone, and
that's the
this
boo thing.
oh no, but then this other person that I've only recently met was also there. Her name's Amanda. Hi, Amanda. She complimented the podcast and was like, I subscribe. I like listen to Ryan's podcast. I like never listen to people's shit. And I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know
that's
you.
so
You know what I mean? No,
nice.
I mean like I'm like getting to know her and I fucking love her.
Yes.
She's so fucking fun and I mean, but I'm like, and it's so weird because like what last weekend when Chelsea, hi Chelsea if you're listening, was in town. When Chelsea was here, this other guy I haven't seen him forever, came up to me and like was just complimenting me on the candles that launched. And I'm like, I just like these people that you don't spend your time with are like noticing what you're doing and caring, and it's like my own friends don't.
Well, and
So
that comes back to like people, subconsciously, people want you to do well, but not better than them. And so when you find the people who are authentically rooting you on and are like, and they're like, listen, if you're doing it, it means I can do it. That's the synergy I want to be around. If you're a player hating, I ain't about that. And I can, we're
yeah,
too old. Figure your shit out. Go to therapy. Get a hug. Go talk to your
100%.
mom. Get a dog.
Dude, yes. And this is sort of like a strategy of Leo that I think it's like a manipulative tactic if you want it to be, but like if we're good, is if Leo wants attention, not only just let your kind of talent and whatever accomplishments speak for themselves, but Leo, yeah, it likes the spotlight, but Leo's like secretly the spotlight operator. If they really want to look good, shine that fucking light on someone else. Look at somebody else's accomplishments and what they're doing and shine that light on them. It will come back to you. You end up looking good for being so nice to this person. Like if you're
Benevolent. Yeah, being kind,
yes,
being able to share that. And I will say that is, I mean, a balanced Leo. Josh is a Leo, and and he does a great job at that.
they're so supportive. And then you love them more, right? Like they get more admiration from you. Like so they get
Hmm.
what they want ultimately, but it's like, and that's just pure generosity. That's the kind-heartedness of a Leo. Like they actually rule generosity. They are the most generous sign if they're tapped into it. It's so beautiful.
Ruler of the pride. So now we got
Yeah.
new moon in
In yours, July
Cancer. July
17th. This is
17th.
big and it's gonna tie into some other stuff. Um, so this is another one that like honestly is a pretty good new moon overall. It is. And it's potent, I'll say that, because I'm glad it's not the full moon with this. Um, the moon rules Cancer. So the sun and the moon are together in Cancer at this point. At the end of
So
Cancer,
they're like super powerful.
yeah, yeah, this
It's
is a
like,
very
yeah.
strong new moon. If you're like a person who likes to wish or set intentions or kick things off, you always wanted to use that new moon phase because the moon starts growing in light. And so anything you kind of initiate at a new moon begins to grow. It's got like momentum behind it and full potential ahead of it. So
Mhm.
it's beautiful. And the moon in Cancer is just like it just fits there, right? So this is happening on my natal moon. So I'm like, oh my God, yay. I had the new moon I had the new moon in Gemini on my sun last month, and now I've got the new moon in Cancer on my moon this month. It's weird.
Aren't you
But this,
shiny?
well, I hope so. 'Cause that new moon on my sun was like very dramatic, actually. I hated that. That was,
But you know what? You're still loving.
I know, I'm still loving, and I'm staying maintaining the positive attitude. I'm doing my best, man. You gotta like, okay. Um, uh, yeah, so this is good for, I mean, emotions, right? But like, I would say, like, let your intuition guide the way. Like, that's a big thing here. Cancer rules the concept of that. So, like, your gut instincts are on point. If you feel in yourself, like, I gotta like make this move, I gotta do something now. Go for
One
it,
thing,
right?
really quick too, with since intuition is ruled by the moon and we're in this Cancerian season, so many people are like, how do I know if it's my intuition? And I heard this thing, a fantasy land is going to make you feel comfortable. Okay. So when you're envisioning something or you get these hits or desires, it's going to make you feel comfortable. Your intuition, when it's calling you to make a move or do something, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And when it keeps hitting you in your solar plexus and in your gut and then starts reverberating, that's how you know it's your intuition. And I loved
Damn
that.
straight. Yes, yes. And your intuition's the thing that's gonna like you regret it when you don't listen to it later. Like you always know that you're like, dang it, I should have done this. But you didn't because it was uncomfortable in the time, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's a great tip. The interesting thing here is that this full moon or new moon is going to oppose Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is retrograded back into Capricorn now, and it's at the very last degree of Capricorn. It's like these are critical spaces at the end of any sign. So we've got this new moon taking off in Cancer, which would normally be great, but then there's this opposition to Pluto.
They be fighting.
Pluto, yeah, there's a combative
Squaring
energy
means
here.
they be fighting.
Well,
Okay.
squaring is a 90-degree angle, which there's a square happening as well. So actually, this is like four corners. If you think of a box, all four corners have an opponent in them right now. We're not getting to the other two. We're just looking at two that are looking
The
at each other
main
across.
players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
other
like
two are going to
the
come
big
next.
fight of the night. We don't care about the opening fight.
Yeah, they're like waiting in the wings. They're waiting to come in.
Yeah.
But the fucking funny thing is the same day those two actually come in. So you don't it's sort of like you don't even see them right now.
I'm
Like you
gonna
don't
take
know
a
that they're
nap
there.
that
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
July 17th, nap
You're
time.
just looking straight ahead. Anyway, so Pluto kills things off. It's the end. It's permanent change. Like it is like gonna destruct in order to create. And a new moon is a time of what do I want to create? Let me like get that story going. So
Ooh.
there is this energy here of like the only way to move forward is to destroy. So, like, what
So it's
are
like
you?
after a fight, after a boxing fight, and then like they make up and they're like, that was a great game, buddy. But I broke your nose and beat the piss out of you. Kind of. Am I
Um,
reading that wrong?
it's sort of no. I mean, like, you're just like really going. It doesn't need to be
Yeah,
so like.
it's like what's that big Floyd Mayweather's always talking that trash and he I hate you and he gets all Jimmy jangled up, he gets everyone, and then at the end you always see him, he's like so sentimental after he's whooped ass and he's like, you are just a really nice fella and you did a great job, and you're like, I don't know how to feel about you because here is a very
Right.
sweet man.
Yeah.
Good sportsmanship.
Yeah. No, for sure. Um, I would say it's maybe more about like facing a fear, like um and needing to be done with it. Like in order to start something new, and Cancer rules that concept of the past and memory and all that, right? So like there is this old fear. Pluto is subconscious fear and like subconscious patterning. It rules that. So it if you start something new, a new moon initiates a 6-month cycle. That's why, like, at the full moon in Capricorn, it's like, what in the past 6 months have you been doing? So this is a 6-month cycle that will culminate. Whatever you try to start right now, if you're not doing it in a new way that is like consciously looking at, like, where have I tried to start something like this before? Because it is like a before energy. This is not the first time you've tried to like get this thing going, basically. But you did it wrong, or like you were operating in very like shady shitty ways, like that's the Pluto vibe. You got to look at that stuff and consciously say, I'm not going to make these same mistakes. I'm not going to operate in the same subconscious patterned way, because those structures don't work for me anymore. Otherwise you're gonna, in 6 months from this full new moon, you're gonna be unhappy, and you will see it at 6 months later. You will very much have to face like, oh my God, like these things have gotten the best of me, and I like knew it. I knew it. The intuition, like the moves you shouldn't be making right now. And in order to start something new, you just gotta like you gotta take a new approach, but you can only do that by getting real about what's gotta like die off. And I really mean that because 6 months from now is gonna be January, right? So January is when Pluto moves back into Aquarius, and then it's in Aquarius. Like Pluto won't be back here, so this really is the end of a like serious.
Put some hustle on that muscle. Put some muscle
Yeah.
on the hustle. Make it happen.
Yeah. It's very weird. I think of it like a little bit like, okay, well, you can't like add something new to your plate, a dinner or whatever, if you haven't cleared off like if there's no room on the plate, you got to like end something, clean the energy out, like get purge in order to like start that new thing. You really got to honor that.
Well, then we got phase 3, a dance with destiny.
A dance with destiny. Kill me. But I liked this month. The other thing, like that, all of these 4 sections in this podcast have to do with that, like dance and movement, celestial shuffle, moonlight in motion, a dance with destiny, and then a retrograde rendezvous. But yeah, the dance with destiny is literally destiny. It's the nodes of fate, the north node and the south node.
What are nodes?
These are not I don't want to get too technical, but these are not planets. These are theoretical points in the solar system. They have to do with the moon. Basically, it's like the eclipses. These are the eclipses. If there was like the sun and moon's paths, their orbits from our perspective on Earth, if they were always crossing, there was always an eclipse in the sky. Basically, there are 2 eclipses, a new moon and a full moon eclipse, essentially. So they're always 180 degrees opposite each other. That was always happening. It's like, where would that be? And so sorta so they are in a pair of signs, opposing signs, for a year and a half ish at a time. And so we've had them since January 2022. They've been in Scorpio and Taurus. South node in Scorpio, north node in Taurus. South node is what we're releasing, letting go of. It equates to like a decrease. And so we've been trying to get rid of the like worst gunk of Scorpio in our lives, like the worst of it. And it's so interesting how this has played out in my life. And then the north node in Taurus, it's like an increase. What are we trying to incorporate? What are we moving into? And so we're trying to embody the best of Taurus since January 2022. The nodes move backwards through the signs. So now on July 17th, the north node moves into Aries, south node moves into Libra. And since they move backwards through the signs, that means they're at the end of these signs, Aries and Libra. Those are the other 2 opponents in this square situation. Same day as this new moon opposing Pluto on the other opposition, that it literally looks like a cross in the sky, is the nodes. So fate. This is a very important new moon.
A year and a half. It's going to last till January 11th, 2025.
Yes. Ooh. And so it's a big deal, and it's a huge shift. Like, there's a really big deal. We're not going to go super, super, super in depth with it. Like, I could do a whole podcast episode just on this, but it's because it's going to last a year and a half. These nodes will play out in so many other important ways as planets hit them and cross them and whatever. It's just going to be a larger theme you're dealing with for the next year and a half, quite literally. So we're getting rid of the worst of Libra, moving into the best of Aries, essentially. But ultimately, there needs to be a balance too. Like both of these things are important. It's not like Libra just doesn't matter like anymore. It's about how do
Yeah.
we purify Libra basically, and how do we integrate Aries better. The North Node is kind of like life purpose stuff, you know. South Node is past lives. It's old conditioning, old habits. And so like we're not trying to use the South Node as a crutch anymore. Libra, relationships, over reliance, codependency. Like these are the negative sides of relationship that we're trying to get rid of
Always
in
at
our
a
lives.
balance.
Mm-hmm. And we're trying to move into the best of Aries, right? But that's naturally difficult. It's hard to follow your life purpose. It's difficult. So it's going to cause uncomfortable situations as you figure out how do I be like the best of Aries or incorporate that more in my life, which Aries is the natural born leader. It's the first sign of the zodiac. All it knows is itself. This is definitely about independence. As we release relationship. Weird, right?
Oh no, you didn't.
Yes, dude, I did.
You got to find yourself in order to be a great partner for everyone else. You codependent. Oh, that's gonna be rough, boo boos. If you've been to, I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna be
I'm gonna
so
be
busy
busy. Oh, I hope so. Hit us up. Hit us
with
up.
clients. With clients, yeah,
Right.
y'all.
Well, and we'll be busy with because Libra rules clients is the one-on-one side kind of work like that too. And we'll be finding the clients that are meant for us now. We're getting rid of the clients that don't work for us anymore, right? But like moving into areas as we better ourselves and as professionals, right? Like we're becoming more of who we're supposed to be authentically. That is going to bring the right clients in our lives. But
Mhm.
relationally, you're just going to come into the like new people over these next 18 months are going to enter your life that you do not know now, but they're going to be better for you and new, you know? So like I think that's really
So be
interesting. And
willing to release the people that you need. Oh, that's yeah.
I think
That's
that's interesting. Like, you know how we always anticipate these energies because we're like in the
mhm.
cosmic flow and we have to go through it first before everybody else and whatever. It's part of our job. Like, isn't that interesting that like a lot of my like friendships are just like falling away right now? Weird, right? And I'm sitting here focusing on myself and putting my head down, doing my work, like launched like fucking three basically side businesses in the last 2 months. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot for me to try and like get
Mhm.
better with like, I don't know, the people who are going to be more supportive or like better, just better people in my life, right? So I think that's a big thing people are going to focus on. So think of that. There's going to be like the me versus you, self-discovery, self-reliance. And I don't know, there's going to be a lot of ways this shows up. It's very weird. Aries being very self-focused, like the problem of that could be people over emphasizing that, like too much me energy at the
Mm.
expense of relationships and people in your life who are supportive. It doesn't mean relationships going away. Like life is relationships, and that's why these things
But
need to be
investing
balanced.
in the pot and not railroading people, because that's what a lot of Aries, especially the masculine Aries, feminine Aries does a different dance, but the masculine Aries, they're it's the juxtaposition. They're so sad because they'll be like, "But I was doing this because I love everyone," and it was like, "You just blew everything up. How is that love? Please explain."
Mm-hmm. Totally. And there's like an energy signature anytime like a transit happens like this. Like basically the second these nodes move into Aries and Libra, it's like you want to look at that chart, take a snapshot of the sky at that moment, because that is like the energy that now tones that whole transit, right? So toning it is this, it's called a grand or a cardinal cross, having all four of these corners lit up. Toning it is this opposition of the new moon in Cancer and Pluto. So there is a kind of like, yeah, this year and a half long thing of like, how do I like clean out these structures that are old, outdated? This Pluto and
How do I
Capricorn, like
take out the trash?
how to take out the
How do
goddamn
I take
trash.
out the relationship trash?
Yeah, and be better, initiate better emotional cycles for myself, that which is part of the codependency, thinking you need somebody else like so much and your heart's so fucking in it. But also like Aries, the North Node in Aries, that like an Aries type of person is someone where like if I opened up to an Aries, they don't, they're kind of like, why are you doing this to me? Like, what? Like, I don't want to. It's about me right now. You know, like they can't handle someone else's shit. Like they
That's the
can't.
masculine Aries. It is totally, yeah. No, I completely see
It's
that.
interesting, right? Um, uh,
Red. Do we have
Yeah,
anything
and
more
I
to
think
think
no, there's
about?
not too much more to say about that. I would just say, like, I guess it just really reemphasizes the new moon, and that I do think people will have this fork in the road feeling. I won't get into it, but like astrologically, like what you have to do is like based on where the north node is, it needs to hit, like Pluto is the answer, sort of. What you want to do is the new moon. Cancer, the new moon in Cancer is the focus ultimately, but in order to do the best you can on July 17th and initiate a really big new cycle for yourself productively and positively, is focus on the Pluto, get rid of the gunk, take out the trash, like get really fucking honest. Pluto really is like a harsh ass look at your life and what needs to go. Don't fuck around at this. Like go deep, get real about it. If
Be
not,
fun.
there is a public element to this that
Oh.
sucks, which could be um like I don't know, public embarrassment, right? Like your shit getting put on display in front of people, and like everybody's aware now of like your crappy relationship patterns or whatever it is, you know? So you want to like
Or if you, but yeah, or say if you were had a business relationship and did someone dirty, then it's like, check Mike 1212. This motherfucker owes me
yes.
7 grand, you know?
Yeah, you
And
might get put
so,
on blast and then nobody wants to work with you anymore. And Libra's like collaborative, you know? So
yeah.
we're trying to have healthy collaboration, but we got to get rid of like who is not good at that and like what's making them not good at that. You're getting very real about that shit right now. So, and isn't it funny also, South Node moves into Libra. What's Libra ruled by? Venus.
Venus.
North
And
Node
what's
goes,
going into
I know.
retrograde?
Yeah, Venus. A couple days later. A couple days later. The same day the sun moves into Leo, Venus goes retrograde. There's a
And
lot to
Venus
say about this.
represents love and beauty. So, like, one thing right off the rip, do not get a new haircut, change your hair color, get any sort of cosmetic surgery done unless it is absolutely imperative. Get your lips done. Don't try a new injector. It is not time to get a whole new wardrobe. You sit your ass down and you wait because you will hate it. Your hair will get butchered. It will be the wrong colors. Do not, or face the consequences. But you have been warned. You have been warned.
Yeah, no new clothes. Dead serious. Like it's gonna backfire. It happens a lot. In Leo, like Leo's a sign of vanity, like at its worst. It's vain, right? So purchases made in vain. No, no. Don't do it. And it's not just that, also purchases, money, like Venus is money. So being careful with the money that you have. Basically, okay, let me back up though. This Venus retrograde starts July 22nd, will go until September 3rd. It's already in motion. Like the second you're listening to this, Venus has already entered its pre-shadow. So everything happening right now is up for revisitation. If you're making a purchase right now, even there may be like when Venus backs up over where it's at today, when you're listening to this, it might revisit what you're doing right now. You know, like who are you talking to? Relationship. What are you spending your money on? What bills are you not keeping up with? Like things like that could totally be at play. Are you buying a new outfit today? Like technically the retrograde is the worst time to do that stuff. But like you
You know
know,
what? I got
things could
a
get
photo
revisited.
shoot July 12th, and I just today bought these holographic glittery roller skates.
Love. Love.
I better get everything ordered today for that photo shoot, though.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Oh,
Before July 22nd.
God.
You need your nails done, you need your hair did. Like do it before July 22nd.
Yeah, I need
As
all.
early as you can. I would say honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because it really may get revisited, but it can get revisited in a positive way. Like you got your photo shoot on the 12th, when Venus backs up to where it is on the 12th, um, when it's retrograde, that could be when you get your photos back. There's a
Yeah.
return of that theme, right? And you're like, oh my god, look how great these look, you know, because you got ahead of it. So that's productive right now, but you can expect themes to get revisited. Um, there's a lot with this. It's definitely going to be more of a romantic vibe. Like Venus retrograde always has that like relationship feeling to it, but especially in Leo, Venus only goes retrograde in 5 signs. Leo is definitely more of the
What other
relationship
signs does it go
one.
retrograde in?
Aries, Gemini, Leo, Scorpio, Capricorn. Sometimes the Scorpio and Libra kind of overlap a little bit just based on where it's at. But
Venus in
it's
Scorpio is a dangerous motherfucker. They will.
I love them. Oh my god.
Well,
I love them.
well yeah, because they dick you down.
Yeah, bitch.
That's
It's not,
danger, son.
yeah.
That's
There you don't want to get married in Venus retrograde. You don't want to there's a lot about this. Basically, okay, Leo rules the heart. It is a romantic sign, right? Um so the relationships are kind of I think the biggest theme here. And it's like it's funny because like right South Node moves into Libra right after like before this. So like there's just an inherent vibe of me versus you. And all relationships, but kind of romantic being a big thing. Romance and kids. If you're a parent and you have kids, you can expect this to be a theme with them. Or if you work with kids, you know, if kids are around, like you can expect like some weird tension with the children. Leo's a sign of children. But yeah, for the most part, it's going to be romantic relationships, matters of the heart.
So, and the thing is that I mean, and I've been my pulses. I see so many clients. People are already struggling. Where it's like, like the heart wants, but it's like, oh, but they're not good for me, or it's a matter of timing, and it's just like people trying to, and you can't force timing. I don't care who you are.
No.
So, it's so people.
Two puzzle pieces can fit together, but they're for separate puzzles. They're the different pictures, right? But it doesn't mean they don't fit. The right person, wrong time totally exists.
And also, there's so many people who are, as we talked in our last podcast, avoiding love. And then what I'm finding is they're meeting, these people that are lighting them up. And they're fucking terrified. So it's like, and then on the opposite end of our codependence, you got these people, these aloof motherfuckers who are like, God, no, please, not this sparkle in my heart. I only want the sparkle in my groin, please. And then they got a double sparkle hitting both.
Well, yeah, dude. And this is a huge thing. Like, I think like with the South Node and Libra rules the concept of like monogamy and the nuclear family and traditional marriage. Like when Pluto went through Libra, which was the Gen X population, that's when divorce rates skyrocketed because Pluto kills things off. So marriages really were dead. And now with the South Node there, it's like we're still purging. Like people will realize for this year and a half, but really, I think kickstarting in this Venus, like, is monogamy not for you? Like, is a non-traditional relationship.
Funny that you say that because it's like whether anyone likes it or not, open relationships, polyamory, it is now like people are coming into these different expressions of themselves, and you are having folks, who have been raised in these traditional mindsets have a really hard time with it as their friends, family. And listen, I guarantee all y'all know somebody in an open marriage, open relationship that's doing well. And then we always hear the tales of don't, or who are engaging in polyamory, but they ain't telling you because you're a judgmental Judy boo-boo.
Oh, totally. Totally. And plenty of quote unquote monogamous couples who end up cheating like their whole lives and whatever. Like, I'm not against monogamy though either. Like there are so many like I hate the debate of like it's actually not natural, blah blah. There are plenty of goddamn animals that could point your ass to in nature who are monogamous.
Mahi's mate for life. So next time you eat that mahi taco, you think that you just killed somebody's husband.
Some of our most resilient animals in nature are monogamous. Like there is and if you literally look at just like science, like having a person to rely on for life, period, extends your life, your longevity furthers. If we just live in a purely non-monogamous society and everybody's just screwing everybody and there's no real emotional
women live longer when they're not married.
Right. Well, marriage is like a different thing. Yeah. Marriage is like a construct of monogamy, right? That was like capitalist, which Pluto and Capricorn's trying to kill that shit off too, right? So like that it doesn't that like legally binding structure of it is different. It's like but it's the I don't know, like this is what I'm worried about in a way. Seriously, it's like that people will be like it's a fucking free for all. Like, is this hot girl summer to the extreme of like I'm just fucking anybody and like fuck relationships and I don't need anybody? I'm like, you do though, you do, and you need like that
Yeah.
accountability. Like, what are we gonna do when we're old and we have nobody? Like when you go down in your single ass apartment by yourself, nobody there to check on you, nobody
You
there to give
better
a
have life
fuck.
alert.
You got, but we won't because we're not going to have these structures in our government. They're not taking care of us. Retirement is not going to work the same way when we're there. Like, we're it's not going to be the same. We need people, each other. We're moving into a phase of community support, right? Like mutual aid. So we do need to establish healthy relationships, and moving into like a non-monogamous style also means, okay, well, now your relationships are getting more intricate. So you better have good ass relational standards. Good God.
You better have communication and comprehension.
Yeah. Fuck you. If you think that non monogamy is going to solve your relationship problems,
You're out of your
no.
damn
It
mind.
opens up a whole different batch of issues that you may not think you are going to deal. You won't even know until you start that process. So, like,
Because you're living in the fantasy land. So once again, if you're in the I'm polyamorous and you're living in fantasy and your intuition ain't kicking, that's because you are living in your fantasy land.
yeah. And it's so like, you already see it, like I think the empowerment of it. We only really hear like or see on social media, like the people who are like polyamory and like they're just so brash about it. Like, but they're never talking about the downsides of it and the people who aren't doing it right ethically. Read the book The Ethical Slut. Like, this is all about how to do
Mm-hmm.
this the right way. Like, you got to do it correctly. People can get very fucking hurt through like your
Yeah.
inability to do this the right way. So, like, I don't know, things
Mm-hmm.
like that are big, but even just like people in relationships in general, like you may have a super great relationship. The Venus retrograde is gonna be a time where you can work on that like beautifully, like, and you are like trying to figure out how do we spice this up more? How do we like bring the romance back a little bit, right? Like retrograde is a
Mm-hmm.
past energy. It literally retrograde means again, coming back around. Um, so like you might like maybe you're a husband wife or husband wife wife they whatever, and like whatever um and you don't, you've been together for years and you don't do date night anymore. Like maybe you used to always go to like mini golf, like or something once a month. I
Yeah.
don't know. And you might bring that back. Like these things from the past can come back in and reignite like that flame of love. Like, so beautiful
Yeah.
things can happen if you're in a relationship right now, but there can also be tension. A lot of couples break up at this point. I think it's going to be more than usual.
Should you be on alert for like exes coming back?
Yes.
Like
Yes. But there's a fucking catch-all with this one for me, or like a, that's not the right word. Is a catch-all? Caveat, but it's like a
caveat.
positive caveat. I don't know how to explain this caveat. It's normally it's like don't go back to the ex, like it's not gonna
Yeah.
work,
Thank
like you
you.
can't, like no, like
Save
that's always the
yourself.
advice.
Why would you do
Always the
that?
advice. That's not the
Yeah.
advice now. It's like a
Oh,
rare
so
cosmic window. It depends on your birth chart too. I gotta say that. But this is a rare cosmic window where it's like if people from the past are coming back, exes, old friends, old colleagues, right? Whatever, anybody from your past. And by past, I actually mean like before this June, but especially I would say like a little longer than that. The longer the better, I would say. And it's like almost like the more crappy that relationship was, the better if they're coming back. Um, eh, it's like touchy because it's like if you were abused, like don't get in touch with your
yeah.
abuser.
Yeah.
Like, good God. But like use your common sense, people. Which Megan is what? Not so common.
It's
I
not
feel like you say that.
common
I
sense.
love that. Um,
It's not common. It's
it is
not
not common.
common.
Uh,
I'll be like, repeat back what you just said to me, like slowly, so you understand what I just heard. Or I'll say it back slowly, and then people are like, oh,
yeah.
yes. That's how
Um,
bad that's.
but essentially, like people from the past coming back, there's something there that's important to re reignite or re-engage with. Any re-word works in a retrograde. So reconnect with these
Yeah.
people. I typically say like be receptive, so like let people come to you,
Also
but
be
if you
reasonable. Yeah.
yeah, yes,
With what
yes,
you know.
yes, 100%, 100%.
Don't
um
let the past take you on a ride, because that's what happens. People will, oh, and even especially if you've been hurt and you love that person. Oh man, this could get interesting.
yes, but I'm also living proof of like a person from the past who came back around in a Venus fucking retrograde. And they're
True
still in my
that.
life,
True
and
that.
they're amazing. Like I just love them so fucking dearly, and I never, because I now know what it's like to not have that person in my life. I won't. I don't want
You
to
won't.
not know
Well,
them
you
again.
won't.
You know,
Yeah,
I.
just that you
But
value
I'm
them.
realistic about like where it's at and whatever, and I'm not letting it impact my ability to live my life the way I want to. Right? That
Mm-hmm.
Aries North Node vibe also. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not South Node in Libra. Gotta not
Yeah.
over rely on the other person. They don't decide your life for you.
Mm-hmm.
But these people from the past, I'm not even saying that the relationship could restart. It really is the vibe of it can work the second time. They've changed. Like that happens. It literally happens. So it could happen. Absolutely. I've seen it happen. Um, but also it doesn't mean that the relationship's going to restart. It just means there's a necessary revisitation that has to happen.
You need a
So
closure piece.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It could be like some you don't know why they're coming back. And I would say, especially if like if you had a breakup and it was a bad breakup, but if they didn't abuse you or whatever, you may not want to hear from that person or talk to them whatsoever. Ever. But like if they're hitting you up and they want to meet up or have a phone call or they DM you or whatever, take a beat and respectfully respond
Mhm.
and like see what's up because they may have an apology for something they did for you or to you, right? Who the fuck knows?
Mhm.
You may leave that meeting with them or DM conversation or whatever feeling like that was weirdly nice to reconnect. And I am also so fucking glad that they aren't in my life anymore because Venus and Leo is self love. Venus and Leo people know their worth. They know what makes them talented and special. Leo rules creativity. So they literally are, they know their talents. They know self love and self worth.
You best respect it.
Yes. So if people especially made you feel a type of way, that's why I say like even like kind of like the worst ones, if they come back, this is an important process because they're going to come back. And that's really the best people to engage with in Venus retrograde is people from the past. New relationships,
The absolute,
not good.
the absolute terrors.
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
just like anybody, like it can be kind of nostalgic, too, like a little bit, like where it's like, I don't know, like if you're thinking of a kid that you used to know, like and you're still connected somehow or you can connect like I'm not against you reaching out like think they're
Yeah.
coming up in your head for a reason like reach out and say like so random but I was just thinking about this time how are you don't
Yeah.
know because when Venus moves forward again that reconnection could come back again and like say you meet up with a friend who's like randomly in your town and they're like you still live here like I got the time off or whatever you meet up for coffee and you may not want to maybe like I'm busy and I don't care to meet up with this person we haven't talked in years like you may not want to but they now that you've reconnected you're on their radar and like they now know what you do in life they go home and suddenly at their job like they have a need for someone like you and they think of you and they send you business or whatever it is you have no
Hmm.
idea what that reconnection could actually do for you very important very important
Interesting.
so and entertain people from the past I have a few stories this is going a little longer than I wanted it to so I'm gonna like go through these kind of quickly but I really want to say these because I think these are so cool and they
Hmm.
relate to something like that I'm gonna talk about in show. Um, okay, so the first one is literally this dance of Venus and Mars. Like, what I think this is so fascinating. I've been talking about this. I literally talked about this on Michaela's podcast as well, and this is like why this is blowing my mind is gonna come around at the end of all this. Okay, if you look in the sky of what's happening, it's really interesting. You can kind of like look at these planets as archetypes, right? And kind of like just like make up your own story and like that's at least how like I think a lot of astrologers heads work you just see it playing out
Hmm.
and it gives you a vibe of something in
Hmm.
this Venus is moving and shaking like she is going through Leo moving forward right behind Mars the whole time they're just she's just like trailing Mars but getting closer and closer and closer and closer but Mars never fucking pays attention. And I literally, Venus and Leo feels like a peacock to me. Just like like that is it's the beautiful colors and like look at me showing off. And so I feel like Venus is just like spreading her, showing off her best. And she in the sky, she's literally at this point where she's getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. So as she gets closer and closer and closer to Mars, Mars doesn't give a fuck. Mars doesn't slow down. Mars keeps moving.
Typical masculine.
I know. It's weird. I know. But Venus is still there, just like showing off. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me. You know, like Michaela said, pick me, choose me, love me. Like it's that vibe, the pick me girl a little bit. But like, really, like, love me. You know, and Mars doesn't care to the point that Mars moves into Virgo. You know, just like doesn't look back. Right at the same time that Venus is at her peak brightness, doing the best she possibly can. And then Venus starts to slow down and gets dimmer in the sky. And then Venus gets all the way to the end of Leo. And you're like, is she going to move into Virgo? Is she going to keep chasing Mars? Like, and you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like, these are the relationship planets.
What are we doing?
Yes, right. Retrograde rendezvous, bitch. And so Venus gets all the way to the very end of Leo. And then it's like you see that she sees this person she can't get and who doesn't care or see her just continue walking, and she's like I give up, like I can't do this. Turns around, goes retrograde, decides to like walk back, figure something out, and
back again.
And so it initiates this really important process for her to like look within herself, stop putting the love outside of yourself so much right now. Like she's basically like misusing her love. And that's the big part of the Venus retrograde process, is in love in yourself. Like my relationship life externally as somebody born in Venus retrograde, damn sure I tell you, and it's just like totally the thing with anybody born in Venus retrograde. You gotta fucking love yourself. If you're not respecting yourself, if you're not loving yourself, you don't believe you deserve the love, or you're not giving it to you, you're not going to get it outside of you, you know? So Venus isn't loving herself. She's like putting it all on display for Mars, and it's not happening. So she's got to like back up, retrace her steps and figure out like, how do I love myself? Give herself more worth.
Get her feathers back. Get your feathers back, baby.
Yes, right? Yes.
You're like, oh, everything, you shake so hard for that.
Shake so hard.
For that masculine planet didn't even see you. He's walking towards a tax accountant. You pick those feathers back up.
It's so funny. So then the second story I have, because I could keep going with that, but I'm gonna like, these stories are gonna like kind of progress, is the myth of Persephone, which is the queen of the underworld, which is what's happening in the sky when Venus goes retrograde. So get this. Venus retrograde, literally when you look at it, Venus is a dual nature planet. She shows up as two different stars, and people don't realize this. So before the retrograde, she's what's called an evening star. She's in her evening star phase, which is her feminine phase. It's supposed to be more receptive, and what we think of when we think of Venus. So the retrograde is this process where she starts moving backwards in the sky, and then she's just gone. We see her in the western horizon after sunset. She's sparkly. She's the shiniest star in the sky, outside of the moon and the sun. She's like the shiniest.
I like that. I do that. I'm identifying with this.
Yeah, right. And then she disappears. She's gone. She just goes away. And you're like, what?
Feathers. I'm out.
Yes.
Take a break.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Yes. It's exactly that, right? And this is why it relates to the Persephone myth, because Persephone was like a beautiful goddess, right? And then gets literally like Hades like rips open the world and steals her and brings her to the underworld.
Oh, man.
And she goes away. And it initiates this time on planet Earth where like, you know, it was barren and food went away and like flowers dried up and everybody was sad. And it's like, where's the bright, shiny object in the sky? It's gone.
Yeah.
Like, where's our jewel, you know?
Yeah.
It's gone. So she's gone. She's in her subconscious, which is where the underworld, right? She's figuring things out inside herself, right? This happens. She will disappear in the sky early August. Time's going to go by later in August, just before sunrise. Boom. Venus pops up on the eastern horizon. Different, shinier than she was as an evening star. She's a morning star Venus now. Shinier, dazzling fucking star.
Her morning routine is on fleek.
Yes, dude. Yes. And she is she's in her masculine now. That's when she shakes her fucking feathers. So basically, this whole like dance with Mars and her like getting brighter and brighter and brighter, trying to like chase Mars, it's like she was not using the feminine side of Venus, you know? Going in as Venus's morning star is Venus in her masculine, Venus loving herself for her, like not for anybody else. And that's what attracts people. She is
Mhm.
shining brighter than before. Like, that's the power of this. And what, like, I literally mean, like, re-engage with someone, even if they weren't good for you, right? Even somebody in your life right now, like current relationships of any kind, can get really tumultuous during a Venus retrograde. People can say things to you and can just come across in the wrong way, you know, where just things get weird and mismatched or
Mhm.
whatever. But you might feel unlovable. You might be made to feel untalented, unworthy, you know, not creative,
Which is
whatever it
all a
is.
lie. Yeah, I don't
It's
believe
all a
that.
lie, but it's a process. Notice that trigger and go within yourself, like figure that out, because everybody will come out of this Venus retrograde loving themselves more.
Mm.
Venus, morning star, shining
Mhm.
brighter. Like this is literally like what is going to happen for everybody. So I really believe that, like, even if you have a tumultuous Venus retrograde, I think that everybody's going to end up coming out of this better.
Mhm.
I really do. The other funny thing about this, that's just like a, and I won't even say it as like a full story, but it's just interesting, is Venus is the morning star. This Venus is Lucifer. I know I've
That
like,
was yeah, the fall of Lucifer.
yes, like as Lucifer, the fallen angel, right? Like,
Mhm.
and Lucifer gets misconstrued as Satan and the devil. That is Christianity being fucking stupid and not knowing how to translate from Hebrew.
Mhm.
Fucking stupid ass Christians. God damn it. I'm sorry, guys, if you are, but you gotta understand your translations. Um, but Lucifer literally means light bringer. The fall from heaven is when the Venus, which was Lucifer, was like the best fucking little angel in the sky,
Yeah.
God's little
Mhm.
bitch, God's little
Yeah.
fucking, falls, right? Goes away.
Um,
And then what? Starts rising before the sun, light bringer. So that is where Lucifer comes from. That's why Lucifer is Venus. Okay, there's so much more that I could say about that. I want to get like super into it, but I do think it's interesting the that people don't realize, like, love comes with like pain and it can be like tumultuous and it brings out this like devilish sides of us. And those 5 signs that Venus goes retrograde in, right? You look at it, it makes the pentagram, it makes the star in the sky. So the star used to be a very religious and spiritual symbol, and it still is a very magical fucking symbol,
uh-huh.
but it got demonized now. The church took it off of all of their old churches. It's still on some very old churches. Even an upside down pentagram is still on churches.
Uh-huh.
Like, but mostly has been like removed because it's now got
Yeah.
this wrongly
Negative
translated.
connotation with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, but there is
Wow.
that negative, there's that need to like kind of go into the underworld, right? There, like, and do the
Mhm.
like dirty, like kind of like work and know that relationship is not always like shiny and bright. It's gonna have those times where like the light's gone and it's
Yeah, you've got to
barren.
go into the darker aspects of yourself, otherwise you're never able to enjoy, the positive, the happy. If you avoid the shadow aspects of yourself, you avoid the gnarly sides, the things that you're capable of. People always, I love like pointing the finger, pointing the finger. You did this to me. Okay, why did this person do that to you? Because I was acting like a twat waffle? Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so it's a level of personal accountability that you can roll with.
Yes. And I think it's so cool. Like, this is kind of like the process I would just want everybody to like think about as Venus is retrograde, is the ancients literally knew that it was the same planet, right? That's why all these myths have the same tie, but cross culturally and whatever, they all knew what was going on in the sky and viewed initially Venus wasn't just planet of love, it was the goddess of love and war. So Venus is in as the lover in the evening, but now going retrograde, disappearing, reemerges. Venus is now the warrior archetype of Venus. So like at in the evening, she's serene, she's reflective, she's receptive, she's peaceful, right? Like that's the way to like get love. In the morning star, she is radiant and assertive and uplifting, you know, like, and the morning star phase is for beginnings. The evening star phase is for like culminations and endings. So it can be like things from the past coming back, but there's a new start, a fresh beginning, new relationships. Like, it's not a good time during Venus retrograde to date new people. If you're on the dating hunt right now, you got until July 22nd. After that, get off and do that inner work. Figure out why you're not finding somebody right now.
You know what's so funny is that I have my next retreat is August 18th through the 20th. So that'll be right.
Smack dab, dude.
Got my theme, son.
And that's gonna also overlap with Mercury going retrograde, I think. So I mean, in August. So Mercury and Venus retrograde are gonna overlap for a while, which we'll talk about in August. But it's cool because, like, also the Venus retrograde is like an incredibly spiritual thing because it's the rarest retrograde. It's where the term 40 days and 40 nights comes from, which, if you look back, I won't go into everything. I've got like so many things that like accounts of this, but the 40 days, 40 nights has a lot of significance in Christianity. Lent, 40 days long. Jesus fasted and was tempted by Satan in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. Moses spent 40 days and 40 nights on Mount Sinai receiving the 10 Commandments. Noah's Ark, 40 days and 40 nights was a flood, right? And there were other floods in other religions too, where they said that. Israelites walked for 40 years. Like Buddha was fasted and meditated under the tree or whatever, and like received enlightenment after 40 days. And there's so many. The mummification process, 40 days long. Like so many things in all sorts of cultures and religions that are 40 days, 40 nights, or 40 years. There's even like, if you look at the angles, I won't even get it, but the angles of a pentagram, the angles add up to certain numbers that then equate to like 144, which I know sounds weird, but like there's a 40 element at play in that. And 144 is like 144,000 souls will be saved, right? In like the Bible. And there's like 144 centimeters or something is how thick this wall needs to be.
There's people who do dimensional work. They're like 144 is their system.
There's a lot, and even the numbers that like actually add up to make the 144 all have these significant like things. Venus is incredibly spiritual, like such an important planet across history because it's the brightest star in the sky. It was like one of the easiest ones to track. And it does these weird fucking thing of morning star, evening star, morning star, evening star. So it's just such a cool thing. Yes, it's weird, man. So like, know that like if you're in a tumultuous space, you don't need anybody else. You just need this process to play out for 40 days and 40 nights, and that's it. And I don't recommend breaking up in a Venus retrograde ever. You'll typically regret it and get back together, but then it stains your whole relationship moving forward. And like, or if you don't get back together, you regret it. You look back on that person, you can be very happy with someone else, but you'll regret that breakup forever. And it'll just be like that person that you're like, what if?
I'm above that. Or there's nothing worse than, what could have been.
And so the final thing I gotta say, which is just like blowing my fucking mind, dude. I'm gonna share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. But like everybody else, I'm gonna like link this in the show notes.
I'm glad that I didn't look at this before.
I'm shocked, fucking shocked. I randomly on Instagram came across some book site. One of my new favorite things is like very small independent like book publishers who have these like dope cool books, or like they're bringing books back from the past or whatever. So I found this one. I forget what their name even was. But as I was scrolling through the books, I saved like 80 books that I was like, I want these books so bad. One of them is this thing about something called the Splendor Solis. And I was like, what the fuck is Splendor Solis? Like, that just sounds beautiful. And the Splendor Solis is this manuscript, like the most well-known alchemical manuscript, which is a manuscript told through images, basically. It's like 22 separate images that are just weird fucking images, kind of like the tarot, where it's like, who knows why these are a thing, but people have just been interpreting them differently. I don't know what we're
looking at here, but
but they have clear meaning, but there's no like actual script with them or anything, but it describes alchemy, the philosophy of alchemy, how to turn something into gold, quote unquote, like on the step-by-step process. It's essentially like a cookbook. And so people use these images to figure out like what's the process you got to go through to alchemize anything. So I was just like interested, right? I searched this when I realized what this book is. I just Google search, Wikipedia pulls up, right? first image on Wikipedia is the image I'm going to show you. And then I go into one search about it, find one article. And that's the article I'm linking in the show notes. So everybody can see I'm not fucking crazy here. This is blowing my mind, dude. After I find this, like, after I've already said these things on Michaela's podcast, I was already prepared for what I wanted to say here, all these stories, everything that's happening. I already knew all this shit. How did this happen? This is like the magic of the universe. I'm going to find a poster of this and put it up. Like, this is my new fucking image.
The anticipation's killing me.
I know. I'm going to share my screen now so you can see this. This is image 16 of the 22. Do you see this giant peacock in a fucking flask?
And red and gold is such royal colors.
Yeah, exactly. They're all kind of actually like red and goldish.
Let that peacock out.
But you see that peacock? A fucking peacock? And of all things, I'm sitting here describing Venus moving like a peacock. So a peacock has to show up as the fucking center. It's in a flask. The flasks all represent different planets. Actually, it's like, and it's in here for a reason. That's alchemy. This symbolizes the part of the alchemical process where like a gunk or like a soot or like a black matter kind of turns rainbow. You know, like when you see like a rainbow iridescent thing, like in oil almost, like it looks like every color, it's rainbow. That's what this is. It's that moment of transformation, dark turning light. Fucking excuse me, Venus going retrograde into the underworld and then shining brighter than ever. And go figure, wonder what fucking planet this card represents. Goddess Venus up here.
I was about to say, she's getting her chariot carried by like, two robins or two.
Girl, it's two, it's two doves, technically two doves. So relationship, right? Here's Cupid sitting here. I know that this is like a hard picture. I've now like researched so much about this, but like, Cupid, fucking bow and arrow. There's a little heart here. So yeah, trying to like basically aim for love, like trying to figure out love and strike love. Like we're trying to figure out love here. And the heart is in the sun. Okay. Excuse me. The sun rules Leo. Where's Venus going retrograde? In Leo. What is happening? The moment Venus disappears is the moment that Venus is in the heart of the sun. That's called Venus Cazimi, because the sun's rays blast Venus out the sky, basically. So that's why we can't see Venus. It's too close to the sun. So she's not visible in the sky anymore. In the heart of the sun, that's where the heart is right here that Cupid's about to hit, that she's moving toward. Look at on her wheels, okay, front wheel here is the sign for Aries. Back wheel is the sign for Libra. Where the fuck are the nodes moving this month? Aries, Libra. Dude, can you just even? Like, I'm sorry. And then there's all these...
just like, did you have a brain nut?
I'm not done. I'm not done, dude. There's all these kids out over here like playing. It's showing like youthful love. Yeah. So it's like, and children, Leo, right? Like, and the other cards they don't have this shit. Okay. Like, this is not me like stretching and trying to make it fit. This is like actually, it's shocking how much this relates to the astrology of this month. There's kids, there's music happening here. Music is Venus, reading, Venus. There's food and drink happening here. Venus, like this is all about love and merriment, enjoyment, right? And now the article, you can read this shit. This is also how it's going to tie into our next episode too, or our next guest that we're going to have. But I wrote down a couple things here, or I pulled these straight from the article that I linked. But especially here, it's saying this plate, the 16th plate, is also of numerous things, showing the process of fermentation. Grapes must be crushed and destroyed to create sweet, intoxicating wine. The grapes are as perfect as they are, but by destroying them, we can make something higher, something that can alter consciousness. It embodies that turning point where the adept reaches a new level of consciousness with a flash of the peacock's tail. Venus disappearing, going through a transformation, re-emerging as something sweeter, brighter, right? Come on. I'm dead. The last paragraph in the article that I link, here's where I'm also fucking dead, because I planned we're like, after we record this episode, we're going through questions that we're going to have for our next guest, which teaser, everybody, it's going to be a breathwork episode with someone who is incredible. And so it's all about breath.
The baddest, bestest.
The baddest.
Like, it doesn't get I don't care what class you've taken. Who you ain't. This is the best of the best, the creme de la creme, the crop of the crop.
And he is so on brand. He like hates new age spirituality and all this bullshit. So he's gonna be super fun to talk to. I'm so excited. Anyway, so I've been doing all this research on breathwork stuff for like that episode. And one of the big things, literally like the first question that I had is, I'm an etymology freak. I'm a word freak. People know this by now, I think. Breath is closely related to the words spirit and inspire, because they come from the same Latin word spirar. And so I think that's interesting because I want to ask him, like, what do you think about the connection between these words? Like, that's, you inspire, you breathe life into things, right? Spirit, like and breathwork can be a source of inspiration. We receive this like divine kind of like consciousness altering experience through breathwork. The last paragraph of this fucking card, that article, the only article that I like pulled up when I was researching the shit, literally says, about this card that is the one card in the 22 cards that I had to fucking look at. I'm sorry. It says, consider the words spirit, i.e. the wine. It says that's a spirit, right? In here.
Yeah.
Spiritual and inspiration. Spirit and inspire, which I already said. I already wrote these down as word. And then it says to inspire can mean to breathe. I'm like, oh my God, I know this. I just looked this up. What is happening? So for me, I don't know. And this spirit can be meditative or evocative. And like, I don't know. This is all these other things. I'm just shocked. And Splendor Solis is what this whole series of illustrations is called. Splendor of the Sun. It's Leo season that we're moving into. Venus is retrograde in Leo. The peacock is all full of splendor, right? Like, I'm just floored. I'm just fucking floored, dude. I'm just fucking floored. I have nothing else to say, but then like I don't know what else to say about it. It just feels like this is important. I was born on the 16th day, so the fact that it's the 16th card feels important to me. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just freaking out about it. I really fucking am. So, I don't know. Look at the card. Maybe it does something for you. But I feel like it's very important. And for the weird.
Well, there's no such thing as coincidences.
No. Yeah. And it ties into the breathwork episode. I'm like, something about what we're talking about here is going to come back when we talk to John Paul. Something about this card. There's this card. The meaning of all this is not just like the past, it's also the future. And it's all, you gotta figure this shit out right now. it's something going on right now. So that's all I gotta say. It's like, fuck, man.
Well, let us know on Instagram. Let us know how y'all are faring during this July. You know, like, and if you need any sort of astrological wisdom, you can always book with Ryan. And if you need any help moving through these places, these stuck places in life, you can always hit me up. But
especially, honest to God, because like people I don't think realize like enough of what you do, but like Megan like can train yo ass. And a part of this is a dead serious, a part of this Venus retrograde that some people, that will be their story, is I don't look good enough. I don't like myself enough, you know? Like, that's Megan. Go to Megan. Like, get that. She will whip your ass into shape. And that's an amazing time to be working on that stuff. So, and I would honestly get ahead of it. Go to her now. Because in a retrograde, you're not going to want to find the new practitioner that you haven't worked with before. Or if you're at least thinking about it now, like seriously, write Megan's name down now. Because then you can revisit that when Venus is retrograde. So
we both do Zoom sessions. But yeah, the time to be the best version of you is now.
It fucking is, man. You are that peacock. You are that peacock, but like you're shining for you. Like that's the process here. Don't overshine for someone else. Like that's not, you are shining just for you. Let the shine speak for itself. Other people will notice. The right people will notice.
Shine, speak for itself. Let you floss.
You feel good about this? I'm good.
I feel good. I'm ready. I got my tools. I got my toolbox. I'm ready. So don't say that we didn't warn you, because you've been warned. You know what's up. You know what to do. Let's do it, boo.
You've been warned. Bring it on, July.
All right. And we'll be back with August, of course. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.